First of all, my name is Eric Arnold. I work for Knoxville Raceway in the marketing end of things. I am the social media manager. Kendra Jacobs, our marketing director, thought it would be a great idea to get Tyler Carpenter onto the show. And I guess this is a new show. And he's a late model driver, and kind of surprising, he won the Gateway Dirt Nationals last week. And along with that win comes a ride in a truck at Knoxville on June 18th when the NASCAR trucks are here. So I thought that would be kind of a good crossover. Let's get him in here in just a second. I'm going to bring in my co-host, Ben. So I'm going to admit both of them into our meeting, and hopefully they both pull in here. Oh, Tyler's sideways. There you go. All right, everybody. So I'm Eric. My co-host is Ben. You can see him. And at the bottom of the screen is Tyler Carpenter. And Tyler, I guess, first of all, congrats on the win at Gateway this past weekend. It was a little bit interesting, I'd say. Wouldn't you think?
Oh, yeah, just a little bit.
So, okay, first go back and explain. It's a split field format that they had there, correct? With Thursday, Friday?
Yeah, they took the amount of cars we had and split them in half. And they had a prelim night number 1 and a prelim night number 2. And that determined kind of your positioning for the main event Saturday. And I was in prelim night number 1 Thursday night.
So you win. And then when does the fallout come with the Hey Dudes thing? Is it basically after the race?
Well, yeah, I had the Hey Dudes on all night. I had my racing shoes with me, but I got 5 kids. So somewhere along the line, one of the kids spilled something in one of my shoes, and I wasn't going to wear wet racing shoes, so I decided, back home, I race in my Hey Dudes all the time. So I decided I was just going to leave them on there. Didn't think much about it. Well, I guess somebody must have thought a lot about it when I won, because when I did get out of the car, I had the Hey Dudes on, and that's the last thing on my mind. Well, that's the first thing somebody else saw.
How much did they fine you?
I'm not real sure yet. They which I haven't got paid for any of that yet. We're waiting on tire tests and all that to come back, which there's no worries there. But I just got to get with Cody, and when they go to send me my money and see what the fine is, they're just supposed to take it out. So I was told it could be up to $1,000, which the punishment could have been a lot worse. We knew, I knew going into that event that it's not no joke. It ain't like you're playing in the backyard with a couple of your buddies.
So you said yourself, you kind of become the face of this event. You really have. And I think for most mainstream racing fans, the race at the Dome is kind of when we hear about Tyler Carpenter every year. Why are you so good around that track?
Mainly, it's not just me. There's other guys that was there. It's just a perfect example. It's just, that event kind of gathers a big group of people, and a lot of attention on that place, and it's an equalizer for a lot of your local racers or your regional racers that can't get out and do what everybody else does. And I've kind of been raised all my life around short quarter mile 3/8 bull rings, kind of rough around the edges racetracks. So that place kind of suited me immediately, and it made me feel like I'm part of everybody else. Like guys you dream to race against side by side, maybe you can race against them or outrun them there. And then I just kind of just set my mind to it, and I was just going, no matter what, that was kind of more my backyard type deal. And even though I didn't have the amount of funding or the backing or the knowledge or the know-how to run with them guys, that I know that place there, you don't have to have everything on point. You can, if you're a good hard racer and you got some pretty decent notes for a short track, you'll be really good.
Have you ever ran a track, anything like that? Is there anything that small out in your part of the world?
Not that small, but yes, really close. We had a track. It was probably 15 miles from our shop here, and it's called Legendary Hilltop. But it closed down a few years back. But it was really close to that place, and that's I got right. You know what I'm saying? I was raised around tracks like that, like not as small as the Gateway, but really close and similar.
For everybody that's tuning in, if you can share this post on your Facebook page just to get a few more views. We'd really appreciate that. Back to Tyler here. So I guess first of all, let's get to know you, because most people that are watching this are sprint car fans. They're not going to know who Tyler Carpenter is exactly. So you're from West Virginia. Just kind of briefly explain what your normal schedule is during the summer and where you race and when.
Well, obviously, I'll introduce my name, Tyler Carpenter. I'm 30 years old, out of Parkersburg, West Virginia. I work at Kryptonite Race Cars. It's a family-owned business. We build our own chassis. We focus on dirt late model stuff, and now we're focusing on some modified stuff. As far as my racing goes, I'm just kind of a good, hard regional racer. I move around as much as I can. I don't claim to be somebody I'm not. I race. Really, I've been kind of all over the place, but 90% of the time I stay within 2 to 3 hours from the house, just because it's kind of tough to move around. Anybody that races understands that and knows where I come from. But I race a lot in the Ohio area, obviously West Virginia area, some in Pennsylvania, very little in New York. But other than that, I ain't got a whole lot more to say about myself. Besides, we build our own race cars,
Tyler, you proved in your interviews that I don't know that you don't care what people think. You just kind of say the stuff that all the other racers are thinking. You ever regret some of the stuff you say when the adrenaline goes away and you come back to the shop?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a lot of people get a kick out of my interviews, and I don't do it to create hype. I just do it by what comes out, off the top of my head, just immediately what's to mind. But I do regret some things I say. And, to be honest, that's one thing I don't really watch is some of my interviews, because I know I just dread watching them. It's hard to tell what I let slip out my mouth. But at the end of the day, I've kind of come to realize that a lot of fans I've created is because of my interviews and because of my personality and who I am, my emotions. And just a perfect example, like you got guys like Brandon Overton winning everything, coming and going. He's a rock star of the dirt late model world this year. And it ain't that he's not enjoying what he's doing, but there's just not a whole lot of emotion. Could you imagine, like, a lot of your diehard racers, and I'm not taking nothing from Brandon. I love the guy to death, but, and not just several guys, it's up on a touring level like that. When they win 100,000 win race. And it's like, they'll smile, but it's not like they're pumped up, man. When I get out, there's times I'll win a 5,000 win race or even 2,000 win race. I am pumped up, man. I get out fist pumping, hooting, hollering. Like, where's your emotion at? At the end of the day, you just put on a show for the crowd. So just let them know you're just as happy as you made them. Like, I don't know. I think a lot of people's forgot what this is all about. And they need to understand that, yes, we need to keep them a professional term, but in the same sense, we need to, like, I don't know, you need to not forget what the sport is about, and forget who you are and where you come from. And I think that's why I created so many fans. It's not that I'm just trying to create somebody that I'm not. They're just seeing who I am.
Racing's supposed to be fun in the end. I totally agree with you. You mentioned the family business, Kryptonite race cars. What exactly does that entail? Are you building modifieds, late models?
We do a lot of stuff, chassis repairs. We build our own brand name, our own style dirt late model chassis and a modified chassis, like an open wheel modified. We do IMCA. There's several brands. There's like 300 styles of modifieds. You want to get into it that we actually do. It's just different style rules. But, we originally started Kryptonite race cars as, not so much that we wanted to open a business up for people, but we did it for ourselves just to build our own chassis and, do our own thing. And several people took interest in it. So, by no means did we create a bit like we thinking we was going to start something that we was going to actually provide to other racers, or, we did it for us, and it just kind of slowly became something. And it's, it's gradually growing and growing and growing. And, it's keeping us busier than we can keep up. So, we're doing very good with it. We don't have a lot of cars on a touring series, but the biggest thing is we focused on, when we was kind of open for business to everybody else, we kind of focused on guys that was a lot like us, regional racers, guys that it needed more hands-on help and and it could use a very good car at not near the cost, and it's just slowly just growing and growing and growing, which is great, you know.
So Cody Sauer puts on this great event in St. Louis every year. We talked how successful you are there. This year was a little different. The winner of this deal got a pile of money, which is nice, but then the winner is also entitled to a truck ride with Niece Motorsports for the Corn Belt 150 coming up here in June in Knoxville. When you laid the trailer door down in the convention center there in St. Louis, did you think, man, I'm really going to do this truck ride deal, or was that just not even in your brain yet?
No, to be honest, you know, anybody that knows me knows I try not to toot my own horn. Like, I wanted to go to that event acting really cocky and just, you know, keep my nose up high. But at the end of the day, going to a place like that, it's so unpredictable. You never know what may or may not happen. And honestly, I went to that event this year scared to death if I was even going to make either race. I knew I was going to be in the main event, most likely in a provisional, but I didn't want that, you know. In 2019, I felt like what a lot of people said about me, like the kid got lucky. We've never heard of him, on and on and on, which kind of makes sense because I don't get to do a whole lot. And when I do, if I try to attempt a big race or whatever, I'm so outclassed as far as knowledge and, you know, just kind of like everything. I'm just so outclassed on them bigger tracks. You know, everything got to be balanced out so perfectly that I'm kind of never up in the mix on anything. And once again, you go to the racetrack like the Gateway Dirt Nationals, it's an equalizer. So you don't have to have everything so up to par. So, I mean, no, to be dead honest, when I shut that door, like, obviously I heard about it once we got there. I had no idea once we on our way that I think they announced it once we got to the track that it was an extra.
Yeah, they announced that super late. That kind of surprised me because that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. And I think it was just so uncertain, like whether they was or wasn't. Like, I think it was just kind of like a last minute deal that finally got finalized, because I know Cody, he is a really good promoter. You know, he's the guy's smart. So, I mean, obviously, if he knew it was in the bags and was a green light long ago, everybody would have known, just to try to create more attention. And, you know, that's a huge thing, especially not only an opportunity for me, but several guys had a heck of a shot at that. That would never, ever have a shot at that. Like, I mean, I could go on for days. How many good old racers that could have a shot at this truck ride besides me that couldn't even think about affording it if they got loans or whatever, you know. And it's just it's a cool thing they put together, and I am like super pumped just to give it a shot. Like, it's obviously, I'm not saying I was always a NASCAR crazy fan, but at the end of the day, every racer wants to try it somewhere along the line, wants to become it. You know, it's kind of like a dream come true for somebody. You know what I'm saying? Whether they want to admit it or not, I'm pretty excited. And I'm a dirt guy, just strictly dirt, but why not give it a shot if you got a shot at it?
Yeah.
And you've never seen Knoxville Raceway before, have you?
I've never been there.
We got to change that. So, well, we're going to June 18th, I guess, for the trucks, but hopefully we can get you out for the late model nationals in September one year. But what kind of communication have you had with Niece Motorsports about the opportunity to drive this car? And you know, are you going to be able to test it at all before you get there? How does any of that work?
No, you know, I'm kind of new to this whole deal myself. I have talked with them quite a bit here lately. I believe just as excited as I am. I think it's a great opportunity for me, them, and, you know, there are several fans that I know will be there because, you know, they're looking either for me to fail at this or I am pretty sure that you're not allowed to do no testing, because I talked to them guys about it, and they said the only time I'll be allowed in that truck is a 50-minute test session, I believe, at your guys' track the day of the race is what they allow for everybody. So I'm kind of nervous, not to lie. You know, I'm not worried about any kind of race car. I mean, to an extent, like, I feel like I can drive about anything, but it's just that kind of testing the limits. Like, what is my limits? It's a whole new deal. Like, how hard can you run it? Do you run in there hard? Like, obviously you want to keep it straight, but so yes, I'm nervous, but I'm going after this thing as confident as I can be, and I'm going to go try to win it. Whether people think I can or can't, I'm going with a mindset to win the freaking thing.
Awesome. Like one of your quotes from the weekend was, "I can't sniff their ass on the big track." And that was awesome. It's like, I race outlaw carts. I'm a budget guy like you. And like you were saying, all the stuff I think every damn night. Anyway, are you a little, I don't want to say worried, but Knoxville's kind of one of the big tracks for dirt racing. Does that enter your mind, or is that purely just an equipment thing? Because the one thing you really got going for you is you're going to be a top-notch stuff. Niece Motorsports builds as good
And
stuff as
I think, mate, yeah, obviously, I mean, to an extent, every driver could use some work. And I feel like personally, I am as good as about anybody. I feel like I am anyhow. And it's not that I can't run the big tracks. I'm telling you, I feel like I can run a big track, but that's where you got to have your equipment really balanced. You gotta like really understand each corner of your car. I mean, obviously, I'm not no idiot when it comes to racing, but it is so tough. You can't just go off a driver feel. Like these guys are pretty well laid out before they get there, and they got pull down rigs. It's just where a lot of engineering comes in effect, to where if you're in a loop with these guys or in a click with a lot of them, a lot of the up-to-date stuff, that you can perform on a bigger track. And that one thing that kind of hurts us, or hurts me personally on a big track, is that we got our own chassis brand. So I can't really work with a lot of guys. Like either they won't work with you, or they act like they can't work with you because they don't understand how your car works versus theirs. When at the end of the day, everything's pretty close and similar, but you're kind of in your own little circle when you create your own chassis. So it's tough. And that's the biggest struggle I have with the big tracks. I know me, Dad, several drivers, not just us, not just the Carpenters, or several racers that can't prove that they can wheel around a big track because it's one that they ain't got the horsepower to do it, or they ain't got the knowledge to. It's just crazy where it's became, like how fast stuff just kind of advances. It's just crazy. You just ain't gonna get out there and just take your standard stuff and just go run up front.
One of your interviews this weekend, you talked something about lack of respect, people looking down on you. Is that kind of a chip on your shoulder kind of a thing, where you just carry that around, or has that kind of stuff really happened to you, where you've heard people, I guess, talk shit about you?
Yeah, they do, man. It's all because they just kind of, they judge a book by its cover. Just because, I mean, I go to the races at times. Obviously, I'm a regional racer, but I go to the races at times, man, I look ragged out. But it's just because I had to work all day, struggle to get my stuff ready, and haul ass to the track. And, they'll take that image like, boy, that he's dirty, or we don't have these fancy haulers. I've worked for years to get to the point now where I got a 1990 Kenworth and a 28-foot box trailer. That's, realistically, in the racing world, that's shit, but that's huge for me, and that would be a huge deal for somebody else. But they kind of, like I said, they'll judge a book by its cover, or you always got them, and that's why I put it on my car, the keyboard warriors, man. You got somebody, no matter what you do, you got somebody out there trying to tell you how you're doing it wrong, or the kid's an idiot, or they're just, everybody's so judgmental. And just for instance, going into this event from 2019, they don't give you props like, congrats, man. A lot of people do, but you got them ones on there that hate you and don't know why they hate you, just because you're doing something they feel like you shouldn't be doing. And it's like that nobody can just tell you, congratulations, man. You're going somewhere. Just keep going, keep your head up. It just sucks, and it's not just us. There's several people it gets looked down on just because they don't have the picture perfect image. And it's got nothing to do with it. It's because we gotta earn it. We gotta earn what we go after. We work every day. You gotta, like, my whole racing program, I own it. I seen people in there saying it's all he's running off daddy's money. That's bullcrap. Anybody that knows me or wants to check into it, dude, I pay for all my stuff, and the sponsors do help. I don't have no sponsors like people think. I seen another guy when I put, he acts like he's such low budget, but his car is lit up with sponsors. I'm thankful for the ones that are supporting me, but at the end of the day, I don't have nothing near what they think I'm getting. And really, I don't care about that. Like, because at the end of the day, with or without them, I'm going to stay at the grind, and I'm going to go after what I'm going to try to achieve my dream or my goal in life with racing. I'm going to try to go as far as I can go. And I just try to ignore what everybody has to say, and just take, even if they take like all these negative things at me, and turn them into a positive, and just prove everybody wrong. So that's why I'm so die hard into this stuff. Like I'm not, it's not just because I want to do it myself. It's just because I got so many people that's doubting me as a driver, and my family in the Kryptonite racing business. It's we've had to come from something that realistically, where we come from in life to start racing, we had no reason to even be attempting it. But at the end of the day, that's what we wanted to do. So if we had to work 20 hours a day to make it happen, that's what we do.
So as we kind of talked about earlier, you're going to end up racing a NASCAR truck here in Knoxville. Sounds like you'll get some practice maybe the day before with everybody else. So you've never sat in a car like that, or a truck like that in this case. Have you gone back and maybe watched the video of last year's Knoxville truck race? Can you get on an iRacing rig? I got to think there's something you can do.
I've been talking with them guys a little bit. I'm going to go to their shop and see what, get a better understanding, talk with some people it's involved with these trucks. I'm going to try to get some really good advice by some really good people. Hang on a minute. You guys there?
Yep,
Gotcha.
I see you now.
Freaking phone calls. But no, I'm not much of a gaming person. I see iRacing and I love it. It's pretty cool. But man, I got to work so much. To be dead honest, I've had the iRacing rig since the whole COVID deal started, and I've yet to even hook it up. I've actually lent it to my brother and a couple of my buddies, and it's actually sitting over in the other shop right now, just sitting on the lunch table. But I just, I'm so into racing and trying to succeed in what I got. I'd rather be, instead of playing a video game, I'd rather get out in the garage, jack up the rear end, and watch everything move in motion. Like, I'm just a nerd on that part of it. But no, I'm gonna focus really hard on a lot of the NASCAR truck end deal on the dirt side, and just try to get just try to study them a little bit from the outside looking in without being behind the steering wheel just yet.
How is merchandise sales going for you over the last few days?
Man, it's been booming, and I love it, and that's what I love about fans. And I guess I love the fact that I can be me and create so many fans, is because I'm just doing what I love to do, and I got people backing me up, especially fans. And without fans, who is a driver? And what are you trying to become if you don't care about your fans? So, they treated me very well. The sales has been crazy, and it's been more than I expected. I ordered so much stuff to take out there. Even Arizona, when I ordered them shirts, I was like, man, that's quite a bit. You think you need that much? I said, I'd rather be safe than sorry. And if I got anything extra, I'll put it on the website for people back home. Well, I was just thankful that I sold out there, and I got to order more for the people back home, and then people wasn't able to get some out there. So I would say they've exceeded better than I thought.
Where do people go to buy it?
What is it?
Where do people go to buy merchandise? You might as well let you promote that a little bit.
Yeah, I got a Shopify store on the internet. I'm not an internet guru, so I don't know a whole lot about it, but I do know it's on. I think it's Kamikaze Clothes is what it's under. If anything, if you can't find that site, get on Tyler Carpenter Racing on Facebook, and you'll find the link on there. But we're, like I say, I'll have new merchandise, shirts, and etc. Multiple things to have available, hopefully by Christmas. And I'm just pretty excited about this whole deal. I like I said, I've had a really rough last 2 years between motor programs and just stuff breaking, and I've kind of been, I'm a well-known regional driver, but it's I've kind of been under the map since I won Gateway in 2019. So there was nothing that could have happened any better than me than going out there and kind of waking my name back up and keeping Kryptonite race cars alive, and basically creating new fans. It's the racing world is just awesome.
Notice there's a ton of big money late model shows next year. Just like, I think I saw something on Twitter. There's like 80 races paying 20 grand or more. Are you going to try and hit up any of that, or is that going to maybe put you in the shop more, getting other people's stuff ready?
Well, I'm going to attempt some of them. Ones it's feasible, ones it's kind of, I try to race as smart as there's a track that I feel like I can be competitive at and not have to have, obviously our cars are pretty good. I don't want to sit here and keep hollering at, we got to get balanced out, this and that. But you just got to think on the realistic side of things. Like if I feel like my car and equipment and me is capable of running really good at a track, or at least mediocre, I'm going to attempt as much as them as I can. But I'd have nothing down on a schedule just yet. But like I say, I don't really race for points or anything. I just try to go get what's up for grabs, like money wise. So anything that pays pretty good or decently, that's where I'm going to be trying to head towards. But yes, there is a lot of money on the line.
Has anyone from Hey Dudes reached out to you?
Yes, we've sent some emails back and forth. There could be a potential sponsor there. Like I say, it's I'm really looking forward to it. They're going to get back with me in January. You know what people try to look, what started that deal? Obviously, I was in the wrong wearing them shoes. We all know that. But, you know, it was the haters that pointed that out. It was the ones that didn't, it was trying to get me disqualified or a punishment or something happened. So, you know, I actually appreciate them for one, worrying about my safety and not thinking about it on that side of things. They're just trying to get me to fail trying to get something took from me. But I want to say thanks to them haters for worrying about my safety and also maybe getting me a sponsor. You know, you guys are just as awesome as the ones that do like me.
What a perfect answer. I hope you hook up with those Hey Dudes guys and maybe they can be part of that NASCAR deal. I mentioned earlier, make sure you bring a bunch of shirts when you come out here in June. I don't know how the NASCAR licensing or t-shirt sales deals work, but hopefully they let you sell plenty of merch, and getting you out here in the fall for the late model nationals would be cool too. But I'm putting the cart before the horse there. So you're a late model driver that makes a living in the late model world, that is coming to run at the sprint car capital of the world in a NASCAR truck. Have you connected all these dots and soaked all that in, what you're really going to be a part of, or is that going to hit when you get here?
I'm just as fly by night as it, but I'm getting more excited. Every time somebody brings this up, I get more and more excited just because, you know, to be honest, I just feel like it's so unrealistic. Something's going to keep me from doing it, or, you know, it's like there's got to be a catch somewhere. But man, I can't even express the feelings how pumped I am, because, you know, if I go there and perform and these guys are impressed with me, or I can do something that people's not really expecting me to do, you know, sky's the limit for my future. And that's what I'm after. If I can make an actual living racing and not have to worry about how I'm gonna pay next month's bills, or, you know, just the struggles that people's got in general, man, that'd be just so great. You know, just worry about my kids' future. So if I can succeed in what I want to do for myself and my life by teaming up with a NASCAR program, or, you know, maybe getting potential sponsorship to make my racing a little easier, not taking so much from the family, or I just can't wait to see what the future holds. You know, I'm just going to go at it as hard as I can and just stay true and just stay who I am. And hopefully it just works out for the best. You know, the good Lord's got me this far, so we're here for a reason.
I see you have 4 or 5 kids. I mean, life has to be crazy at your house with race teams and traveling to races, and then you've got all that going on. I mean, what are your kids' names? What are their ages?
It is very hectic. I got 4 girls and 1 boy.
Oh,
the
my
boys,
God.
yeah, you know, I wanted the boy, and that we just kept going and going. I was like, that's it. Well, it just so happened one last time, and then there he was. But you know, I love my girls to death. I wouldn't trade them for nothing. But, you know, every guy needs their son, you know. I got obviously my boy's name's Colson. He's 1 year old. My next daughter would be Carly. She is 4. And I got Madeline Carpenter. She's 7. I got Riley Carpenter. She's 9. And I got JC. She's 11.
Wow.
Never a dull moment. My God. Man.
Yeah. I got my hand.
Do they come to a lot of races with you? They have the track nights?
Yeah, we go to. I mean, I try to take them racing with me every chance I get. It's tough, but they enjoy it. You know, they'll give me a headache every now and then, but I wouldn't want it any other way. You know, they're so into this racing deal. They was drawing me pictures and making TikToks and everything. Kept like kind of tooting my horn for me about Daddy's going to win the big race at St. Louis because I won it last time, and Daddy's going to win $30,000. And I was like, girls, I hope you're right. Not that easy. Like, they was so into this thing. Like, it's crazy how, I mean, just looking back on it, how involved they are getting in it. And now that I got this truck ride, they're like, oh, you're going to be on NASCAR? Can we go with you? Like, it's just a whole new level. So whether it's a one-time deal or not, if we go further with it, awesome. And if it's just one chance, it's, you know, it's an opportunity I'd have never got to have if it wasn't for Cody Summers and the Gateway Dirt Nationals.
Yeah, the Corn Belt 150s on June 18th here in Iowa. So there's a lot of racing around here before and after that. Is there any chance you bring the race car with and make it legal to run around here and pick up some other races? Or are you just going to fly out and run the truck?
Well, it's mainly right now, I'm trying to work on a motor program because that's kind of been the biggest thing holding me back. I've just kind of had backyard motors forever. And, you know, they work regionally, running 25 and 30 laps on these short tracks, but you go getting them things way up in RPM and going to a big track, they either don't perform or they don't make it. So this winter, this off season here, I'm going to focus really hard on trying to get myself a decent motor. And if that is the case, that I am going to move around, and I most likely would try to attempt to race in your guys' area or your track just to kind of get the more feel for that dirt and, you know, get a better understanding about things out that way.
Yeah, I think from a promotion of the race standpoint, that'd be cool. And that would promote you. You show up to Marshalltown or some of these tracks, and there's plenty of small tracks around here. And hey, Tyler Carpenter's here, the guy that's running the NASCAR truck deal. And if you find yourself selling $1,500 worth of t-shirts that night and thinking, damn, this is all right, I could do this, I'd encourage you to do that. I think that'd be cool. And maybe at the very least you could show up and watch a weekly show here in Knoxville and watch a 410s rip around this joint.
Oh, absolutely. I've watched some races around Knoxville, and man, it's gonna be something. I'm in for a treat, I think, but I'm ready.
Do you have a favorite late model driver that you, outside of yourself, like that you've grown up, that this is the guy, your favorite guy, you have his shirts, like who is that guy?
It would have to be my favorite driver, realistically, would probably have to be Jonathan Davenport, because they're a really group of guys. I talk with Jason Durham a lot. He goes out on the edge, try to give me a helping hand or like some guidance. Jonathan Davenport is an all-around very great guy. He takes time for his fans. He puts on a show for the fans. He interacts with my kids really well. My kids are in love with him. But besides him, I'm a Scott Bloomquist fan. And in the racing world, I don't know how, the ones even claim that they don't like somebody or whatever, like, oh, he sucks or we're not a fan of him. Deep down, they like him too. Like, there's no reason to dislike him. The guy's strictly business, and he 90% of the time he always proved his point. Like, if he said something, he was going to back it up. Obviously, things have been a little different here lately, but that's just part of it.
That Scott Bloomquist equivalent in the sprint car world is probably Sammy Swindell. And over the years, Sammy's had a lot of haters, if you will, but at the same time, they want to see that hauler roll in the track. They want to see that guy. It's almost like pro wrestling in a way. We need bad guys. We need, even if I don't like them, I still want them there. I still want them racing. I want my guy to beat them. And then I want him to get on the microphone and say some crazy shit like you do. We need those characters, and you got to walk the line. You got to be politically correct. You can't offend people or say totally egregious things. But man, you can talk shit on them dudes you race against, and all them people beating the keyboards or beat them buttons. And I hope beat them buttons ends up on a shirt.
Well, you never know what we'll have. It's just, at the end of the day, it's people with a decent personality. Rather, there's just not very many drivers out there. At least it gets footage, that's always aired on TV. They need some more hype. Like, yes, you guys put on a good show, but how come you're so lame when you get out? Like, keep everybody into it. Like, I know me personally, when somebody wins and I know who, like, if I know who they are and how they celebrate, and hell, I don't sit there and watch their speech or what they say. I'll just get up and leave. But, not just me, but, you get a guy, you don't know what to expect. They're going to watch and see how he reacts. And, like, then they'll give me an extra cheer. Like, heck, we like that guy. They need to understand that they got to show some emotion. Like, I ain't saying tear up or get out and cuss him, but I'm talking about like get out and let them know you're just as into it as they was.
Right on. You want to do lightning round questions, Ben?
Let's do a lightning round.
All right. We brought up wrestling. Are you a Ric Flair fan, or do you have a different favorite wrestler?
Back in the day, which I ain't watched no wrestling in a long time, but my favorite wrestler was Sting.
Oh yeah, the Stinger.
Yes. Tyler, what's your favorite food to grill?
I don't really grill nothing, so it'd have to be steak on a grill, or that's probably about it.
People are busy working on race cars. I get it.
Favorite cereal?
Cereal would have to be Fruity Pebbles.
Oh man. What's your favorite pro sports team?
It would have to be the Vikings.
How you become a Vikings fan, living where you live?
I really don't know. I just thought they was pretty cool growing up. They never have been anything, but they're an under.
Damn.
How many speeding tickets do you have?
You would think would have a ton, but I got out of my goofy, young, stupid age kind of quick. So I would say I probably had 4 or 5, and then I tamed her way down, kind of time to mature.
So you get a pile of money, you can race anything you want for the rest of your life. What are you racing?
Dirt late models. I know it's it. I got to stay with my roots.
Who's the last driver that you texted with?
The last driver I texted with, it would have to be, probably, it'd be my dad, I'd say.
That counts. That counts.
What's
He's
a racetrack that you've never raced at that you'd love to race at? And you don't have to say Knoxville.
No, I get it. Well, that's one of them, but probably and it's off the wall, but probably I-55.
That's not off the wall. That counts.
It's a good track. You binge worthy on TV shows of any sort?
Well, you guys are gonna think I'm nuts. The only thing I watch on TV is Family Guy. That's fine.
So you won the race this weekend on the bottom, but if it was all the same, would you rather rip the top or pedal the bottom?
Probably rip the top. I like being on the edge, out of control with just a little bit of control.
Yeah.
I love actually getting after it. So whatever it takes to win is what I'm after.
How many pairs of Hey Dudes do you own?
Well, I own probably 3 right now, but normally I own 1 pair until the toe hangs out and I get me another pair.
Well, I'm out of questions for that. I'm just happy with how the weekend went. Tyler, I grew up in St. Louis actually, long before I moved to Knoxville, and I remember watching my football team play in that dome, and like a lot of little kids do, and even big kids like me, I looked at that place, so I just thought, man, this is a big place. We could race here, because I know back in the day they ran races at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, and they ran at the Tropicana Field down in Florida. It's not unheard of. And then, 30 years after I'm a little kid, they're running races there, big money races, and then a low budget blue collar racer that have always been my favorite comes in there and wins. And that's pretty cool to me. I appreciate that. And it's funny you said I-55. I grew up going to I-55 on Saturday nights, and I went to Belle Claire Speedway on Friday nights. And I don't know if you ever heard of Belle Claire, but Belle Claire is about like racing the Dome. And if you ever get a chance to race there, if they ever open back up, you need to haul out there and do it.
Yeah, I definitely need to move around some, man. I intend to moving around a lot. It's just, anybody, it's got to earn their own stuff and just pay their own way. They know where I'm coming from. It's just tough to move around, especially when you got 5 kids. So
yeah, how do you drive past 10 races to go to some other race just because you want to? I get it.
Absolutely.
All right, Tyler, thanks for taking your time. Everybody watching, thanks for watching. If you want to buy tickets, June 18th, NASCAR Camping World Truck Series at Knoxville Raceway. And this guy right here, Tyler Carpenter, is going to be competing in the number 42 Niece Motorsports.
I'm not sure of the number, but no matter what it is, if I run good or bad, you guys need to come out and support me. Not only the track, you need to just come out and you never know what I'll do. So you're in for it.
Never know what I'll do. I love it. The crowd's going to go nuts. And I think you're going to get more respect from that NASCAR garage area than you think. So a lot of those guys were racers like you, and they had to make a decision in their life if they want to continue in racing. And it was get out from behind the steering wheel and go work in a shop. And man, you stayed behind the wheel, and a lot of guys are going to respect you for that. I think more than you realize. You might get more respect in that NASCAR garage than any other pit area you ever been in.
Well, I hope so. At the end of the day, we all just need to get along and just enjoy what we do and just keep this stuff, keep it all fun and where it's supposed to be.
Well, man, you got a lot going on, but Christmas is coming up. You got a big family. Make sure you take some time to enjoy that. You don't get them Christmases back with them little ones. So
no, you don't.
Have a Merry Christmas. Thanks for coming on, and don't be a stranger. We can't wait to see you here in June.
I'll be around, man. I appreciate you guys having me, and I just appreciate the fans that do support me, and the ones that don't, you're still talking about me. So I appreciate you. It's I hope all you guys have a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday, New Year's, and all that. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody this in 2022.
All right, bud. Take care.
Yep. Thanks, Tyler.
See ya.
Ben, how you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm not at an ice rink or a fire station or working on go-karts, so that's weird.
Yeah. Oh, man. That was great. It was good to meet somebody new and developing story over the weekend with this guy winning and then the truck deal. That was pretty cool.
Crazy how that all came together. And Niece Motorsports, they got a couple full-time drivers, and then they kind of got some seats that rotate on. Mark Smith, racer from out east, he's run with them. And I got to think it was just kind of written in pencil until the day of, and then put them in it. They got a pile of race cars, so
yep,
that's cool that they're getting ready to do that. And that race in St. Louis, it gets a mix, of some big names and then some local guys and then guys like Tyler. And you never know who was going to get it. Yeah, that was the thing that you could have a big name dude that could even turn it down. I mean, if you get one of these guys that's racing full time on one of the tours, he may not be able to skip a whole weekend worth of races. They got the right guy in terms of that. So that was cool. I was happy to see that.
That's true. That was one thing I was worried about with all these high-paying late model races next summer. What are the odds that like Jonathan Davenport's going to miss a Saturday night show somewhere?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like Davenport's Shepherd, those guys aren't going to. I mean, to be honest, probably gonna make more money running the late model. Not to mention the whole points deal. So, but I mean, that worked out. It's gonna be cool to have him here. Really, really excited to see how he, a racer like him gets to come here to, one of the Taj Mahals of dirt racing and wheel it in a truck. And he talks about evening the playing field, in Gateway, or at the Dome there. And I think he kind of even the playing field here in those trucks, because I mean, dirt aces, truck aces, this place, like Eldora was and Bristol, it's a different animal with those trucks. And Knoxville, at least last year, was survival of the fittest. You keep your nose clean, you pass everybody.
Yep, I agree.
I think I saw some of the folks at Gateway International Raceway, or Gateway Worldwide Technology Raceway. Chris Blair is going to kill me. Chris Blair runs that NASCAR track in St. Louis. He's kind of the head honcho there. I know he's expressed some interest in Tyler too. So I mean, the sky's the limit for that kid, man. If he can make some stuff happen and keep being himself.
Yep. Well, for people that are still watching, we had about 1.3 thousand people watching at the peak there. We're down to about 600 since Tyler left. But for people that don't know us, I'm Eric Arnold. I work at Knoxville Raceway. Ben and I have a podcast called The Dirt from Knoxville. So be sure to check that out. We're going to put this interview and upload that on the podcast, but then this will also be archived here on Knoxville Raceway's Facebook page. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Just a few housekeeping notes. The NASCAR Trucks, June 18th. Buy your tickets now. We have sold a lot of tickets for this race already. So don't wait. Buy your tickets to this race. The link to buy the tickets is in the body of this post, or you can go to knoxvilleRaceway.com and and buy the tickets there. Also, people that are Knoxville Raceway fans, Dennison Racing Tees has their pop-up store open on Friday and Saturday. Jersey Freeze, a sponsor of ours at Knoxville in Monroe, Jersey Freeze Ice Cream. They're going to be open this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so support them. If you're looking to sponsor the 360 Nationals lap sponsorships, $500. Get a hold of Kendra. You can email her if you're interested in that. Camping, if you're in the renewals for camping for the season long or nationals, get a hold of the ticket office about that. That's open right now. You got to get those renewed, I think, by like February 1 or something. So, and then tickets, 4-day packages for the Knoxville Nationals are on sale. So the NOS Energy Drink, Knoxville Nationals presented by Casey's, August 10th through the 13th. Be sure to buy those. They're open to the public now, 4-day packages only. And I had to say all of that to get that out of the way. Otherwise, Kendra would just kill me probably. So
Eric's the businessman here. I'm just the failed racer that talks a lot. We know our roles. It works. What else is going on at Knoxville Raceway? Anything? Any new stuff? I saw we elected fair board members the other night.
Yeah, I know the election was happening Monday night, but I don't know who's on, who's not, or anything like that.
It looked like the usual suspects. I don't think there were too many surprises. I didn't pay. I had a busy week. Didn't pay much attention to that as I sometimes do.
No.
The ASCS National Tour released their schedule, and they're kind of going back to how it used to be and staying in the middle of the country, which I think might see a few more guys run that tour. But I think what that also means is we'll see a few more visitors on certain nights when those guys are off, both in the 410 and 360 ranks. So that's cool to see.
I think that's a good move on their part. Yeah.
Yep. What else do I know about? I know Dennis Gainey, owner of Dennis Gainey Racing Designs, and he's sponsored a bunch of people over the years. And he's putting together a race car. He's going to have Brandon Wimmer drive it, and they're going to be here at Knoxville often. I don't know if it's going to be a full-time gig. I don't know if they even know either, but I think we'll probably get Brandon on here to talk about that pretty soon. That'd be cool. It's
a purple number 6, white and purple. I really like it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really like it too, because Dennis lets me drive his cart every once in a while, and I think it's going to look like that. So purple number 6. Let's see what else.
For people that don't know Dennis Gainey, really cool guy. He helps out AJ Moeller, Bobby Meinzer, Presley Trudson. Now he's got Brandon Wimmer with his own car. He does the designs for the Ridge cars. And
he helps out a lot of people that you'll never even know about, and racers and other folks alike. And he's just, there's a lot of people like that in racing, and he's just one of them we're talking about, because he's going to be fielding the car here with a well-known driver. Brandon's raced everything all over the planet, and he's a family man now that isn't racing quite like he once did, but it'll be cool to have him back at Knoxville. His wife's originally from here, so that's all going to work out. I'm trying to think of anything else. Some Claus and Marshall people haven't announced what Tyler Courtney's doing next year.
I think we all know.
I know. I want it to be announced. I want to see it. That'll be cool. Bunch of guys jumping, or not a bunch, but some guys going from USAC to Wing Cars coming next year. KTJ and Chris Wyndham. Has Wyndham said what they're racing?
No. KTJ announced was that yesterday that they're going to run All Stars. So
right. Well, I wonder if Wyndham, maybe we see him here in whatever form. If they end up running a true, that's the beauty of the true outlaw guys that end up in the Midwest, is we see a lot of them at Knoxville on various weeks, and
yeah,
that's why the weekly show at Knoxville is cool, because you just never know who's gonna roll through the gates. Like a random Brad Sweet appearance last year, and you just never know.
Looking through our comments to see if anybody had any questions that maybe we needed to answer here. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, Kendra says she's not going to kill me if I didn't say that.
She won't kill you, but she'd make sure you said it next time.
Yeah, she'd find a way to let me know, right? All right, Ben. Well, thanks for your time. You get with your wife and kids and have a good night.
Yep, I'll do that, man. Take it easy. See ya.
All right, see ya.